Alright, we were trading Thursday, October 9th. No news during London. If we look at dollar on the daily, obviously we just took a long dollar short euro trade yesterday. Today, we are still inside this 4-hour for value gap that we were working off of yesterday, except now there's a SMT. So yeah, I figure this is probably pretty clean. It's pretty fine for me to trade, even though we did, tap into a higher time frame PD array that we could expect a reversal from, and we do have a giant wick, right? That's showing rejection. We still haven't taken the same high that DXY is taken, right? This one. Like how DXY is taking this high and tapped into the daily for value gap, Euro hasn't taken that low and tapped into this new week opening gap. So I feel like this is pretty likely to get tapped, this new week opening gap. But it could tap into this daily redelivered rebalance to continue going lower. But yeah, anyways, like I said, we have this SMT that I'm looking to trade off of, so that is the play today. Looks like we do have a change in the state of delivery. This candle didn't. So we did have some displacement lower. We cut through a redelivered rebalance for a value gap, and yeah, let's see what this 4-hour candle is looking like. So we do have this 4-hour for a value gap, right? But we haven't had a 4-hour change in the state of delivery, and we have the SMT, right? So I think this is fine for me to trade this way, like this direction. Now, how I want to enter. Let's think. We did cut through this redelivered rebalance, right? So I could enter off of the retest. Boom. Boom. Something like that. Let's see what the 15-minute is looking like. Or I could just OTE the entire range. 5-minute doesn't really look like anything crazy. 30-minute. Nothing yet. Let me mark this out, just so I know. 4-hour. 1 hour. Yeah, I'm thinking that I will end up just, and you know what? That 1-hour redelivered rebalance is also lined up with this 4-hour rejection block. So I am with that. I'm just going to go ahead and place that trade now. Since this is an SMT, we do expect the opposite end of the range to get taken, right? But I might not hold till all the way to that. I might not hold all the way to the opposite end of the range, but I'll just set the take profits. Alright, the order is placed, and looks like we will be entering off of this. So basically the stage, right, is a mixture of the 4-hour for value gap that we were working in yesterday and SMT divergence, right? That's the stage, mixed with the scenario of Asia opposing range, right? So Asia displaced opposing us. So I'm looking at this as Asia doing the manipulation already, especially since there's SMT divergence, right? So that's kind of like the cherry on top for showing that Asia did do the manipulation for the day, or at least, at the very least, the manipulation for London, right? The day could very well still reverse and tap into this daily redelivered rebalance, which I wonder if dollar doesn't have it, but it does have a regular fair value gap. So, yeah, that's the play. Price is just price is just displacing. I'm not gonna lie. So I was looking to move my entry down a little bit because I don't know if it's gonna come all the way back up to this redelivered rebalance. But I mean, my entry difference really isn't that much. It's 4 ticks. Like, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if I want to enter off of the top of this 4 hour or the bottom of it. Because if I enter off the bottom, right, then I probably shouldn't do 650, but then I don't want to do that little either. Because then if I do enter off of that low of an entry, I gotta think about this. Yeah, whatever, I'll do this. Bang. Bang. I'm not gonna lie, this SMT is now completed. Not gonna be looking for an entry because Euro has taken its high, right? So I'm gonna look for a long. I want to enter off of this inverse for value gap. And yeah. Boom. So I'm just gonna enter off that, and this is kind of a little risky, but if it's gonna stop me out, it's probably gonna stop me out quick. I'm not gonna lie. Like either this 5-minute candle or the next one is when I would expect this to stop me out. But yeah, this isn't gonna be a super long trade. Literally just this 1 hour. And I'm risking 11 ticks. 343, right? Yeah, 343.75. So then that means if this DP gets hit, then that's just under 2%. So 1.8%. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. No, I didn't get it. I wanted to record it, but yeah, that was clean. I'm not gonna lie, that was really clean. A little intense here, but this push down was to get dollar to tap into its inverse and regular. So yeah, fire. I will take that. Alright, so this is later in the day, and I realized that I didn't actually go over why I took this buy, even though I was looking for sells, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so this new week opening gap did end up getting hit. Sick. So yeah. Like I said, we were working in this 4 hour for value gap. That was our stage. And price opened in London and just kept going. And then when price got down in this area, I checked the dollar, and the dollar had taken its previous day's high, right? And that is one of my stages, even though we were still bearish. I figured I could look for some sort of a quick retracement, and that's exactly what I caught. Was literally just this leg. But yeah, so euro didn't take previous day's low, and obviously that made an SMT. And I checked pound, which did, and so I was like, okay, cool. Euro's also the chosen one in the SMT, right? So yeah, I went with that, and it was pretty clean. Like obviously it worked out, and it was still part of my. It was still part. It was still part of my system, like my rules. The only thing was it was going against daily bias, right? But the direction was still correct, as in I was expecting bearishness for the day, right? For Asia to make the high of the day, and then price to melt down lower, and we did end up running to this new opening gap, and the same correlating low as DXY had taken. This one. So my direction was correct, and my trade was counter trend, yes, but I wasn't holding it and expecting it to run super far, right? I just liked the 5 minute a lot because we made these equal lows, swept them, and it kind of happened fast, not gonna lie, because by the time we got to here, I was expecting price to just continue going up higher and, you know, just maybe retrace into the OTE or whatever. But then I checked the dollar, saw that it swept its highs. Euro hadn't swept its lows, made these equal lows, swept it. I was like, oh, this is it, bro. So, yeah. Usually I do like the second stage distribution, which was still here, right? Boom, ended up getting ran. But since it was 1 hour for value gap here, I just didn't want to risk it. I just wanted to get the first leg because I could see that this was reversing pretty strongly. I mean, look at this. The equal lows were beautiful, but then the size of these candles, boom, and up candle, boom. Like it was pretty obvious to me. So yeah, direction bearish. Short-term direction was still bullish, right? Like I understand that was still going against my rules, but I feel like I'm fine with that so long as I keep in mind that I'm not going to be like looking for something crazy long, right? And then entry was obviously just the 5 minute. We had the change in the state of delivery here, displaced through this 5 minute for value gap. And then I was going to enter right at the top of it, but by the time I could pull out my trade window, price was already deep into it. So I was like, okay, I'll just take it. So now for one, I'm not risking as much, and I have a better entry, right? Because I can only risk 5 contracts on this $50,000 Top Step account. So I was maxed out anyways. So I was like, okay, I'll just get a good entry. That's fine. And then, yeah, it worked out. It was pretty sick. It was pretty sick. Even if I did enter off of this second stage distribution, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this entry would have been dog water, right? And it was outside of my London kill zone, but it was made, so I still would have been looking for an entry if I didn't get this first one. I probably, since I saw this R right here, I'd have been like, nah. So I probably would have got greedy and just waited for this, and probably just waited for these highs. Because again, we did have this 1 hour fair value gap, so I knew that price wasn't going to be going high. But I just wanted a little something from the market. But yeah, it feels good. That trade actually feels really good because I had been overthinking a little bit, and I always go through this during the first week of every month, right, where trading just isn't as clean, at least for me personally in my system. I get a little anxious and like I want to press buttons, and you know, I mean, I'm 22 years old. Like I want money now. You know what I mean? So every now and then that just sneaks up on me, and I just want to do more and do more and do more. But it's good to stay patient, especially in this game of trading, right? This industry is very patience driven, and you know, striking at the right time. And I feel like that this helped build my confidence for sure. I just need to make sure that I'm still sticking to my rules, which I did here, even though it seemed like, I wasn't trading in line with my daily bias. As long as I'm following order flow and I'm respecting it, I'm good, right? Because I'm still trading in respect of that direction. You know what I mean? So, yeah.